So we're gonna grow now. We have a lot to do, and you have to get strong enough to be able to actually be radiant, and people aren't gonna like you because of it. Do you get that? Because we're programmed to not like the people who are the strongest and the most radiant and the most successful, and it's a sick, toxic poison among us that we have to now not drink. Okay? So the way that the human species has been controlled and kept from kind of the great dignity and the majesty and also the prophecy of what is meant to happen on this planet is that we, basically are programmed from a very early age to not really be as radiant and as beautiful and as unique and as strong and as intelligent and as clear-minded and as sovereign as we are. Because if we do that, then we're going to lose friends, we're going to be talked about, we're going to be hated, we're going to be, all this kind of stuff. So it's very deep in us. We're going to be exiled. It actually goes as deep as that in the limbic system. Okay, so we have to get over that now. Yogi Bhajan's message during this White Tantric was you have to now grow and get strong enough to be yourself. And it takes strength, it takes fortitude, and all the places where you're shirking your own personal responsibility, those will be the places that take you down in the age of Aquarius. All of the places where you're shirking your own personal responsibility. Now, one way you can work with this is just decide I'm 100% responsible for everything that's going on in my life. And if I want it to change, then I can make some big, deep, and significant changes. But, that takes some practice and it takes some strength. And one thing that I'll tell you, because it only takes one person in a relationship to decide this, if you decide that you're 100% responsible for whatever's going on in your relationship, and Yogi Bhajan used to say this to the parents all the time. They'd be like, my kids, blah, 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 blah. He's like, no, you're blah, 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 blah. You got a problem with your kid, you have the problem. Your kid's not the problem. They're just expressing your problem. People are really, but the same thing with your relationship. You got a problem with the person you're in relationship with, your business relationship, or your personal relationship. As an experiment, just take 100% responsibility. You got a problem with something that's happening in the culture, in the politic, take 100% responsibility. See what you can do in your own kind of choices. And when you start to do this, you really start to look at how much you are kind of participating silently or in a subconscious way with a cultural pattern that you're so upset about, or you're so, however the thing's showing up. Because in this age, everything's transparent. So you can't keep a secret in this age. And people think that they're keeping a secret, like they think that people don't know about them, but people do know. And that's the age that we're in. So it's a very transparent age. It's a very subtle age. And the younger generations are so subtle that they're actually just vibratory frequencies. And so they know 1,000 million times before some of us know who were born after. Now the kids, there's like a throwback to the Hotmail account. Have you heard this? It's like it's a status symbol to have a Hotmail account. Whoa. So just for some of you in here, I want you to feel good about yourself. So you've never heard of a DVD and you have a Hotmail account, but ironically. So we were coaches. So those people who were in that generation, they know the vibrational frequency is so, and the sensory system, which is what we're going to work on in this time. And I was saying last night that we're now calling the times that we're here residency, which we're very aware that everybody's like. I've had multiple emails that's like, I'm sorry, I thought you lived here. So residency, what does that mean? We've had some emails about this residency. We're just trying to, make it easy for people to know when we're in and out of town. People are sensitive about that word right now. Don't worry, we live here. But you guys and my dogs there's about the same attitude. I was like reaching to pet my dog this morning. He was like, and I was like, all right, I get it. He's just like, he's like, I don't even know who you are. But so the younger generations that have such a sensory development in their system that that there's no hiding, there's no secrets. And so in this age of transparency, we really don't have a choice but to take. We're working with X-ray vision here. And where I posted a quote. It's a very good way of looking at life. Yogi Bhajan said, to live an aware life, or he called it spiritual, but you could call it whatever you want, and to live a neurotic life, it takes exactly the same amount of energy and time. It's just a direction of that energy and time. People think that it's harder. It's not harder. It's just a different direction of the same energy and time. And you have X amount of energy and X amount of time, or X amount of energy and Y amount of time, if you want to put it in a little bit more of an equation. And then you die. All right? Saturday morning. That's just the thing. So you really have to, why not right now start to kind of scan your life and your practice this morning and look at the ways that you're shirking or you're blaming or you're unable to create a perception of what the other people are experiencing of you. Your whole life will change when you develop the perception of the second position. You guys have heard me talk about this multiple times. Second position is how everybody is experiencing you. Now, that doesn't mean everybody hates you and whatever, all that kind of stuff. That's just normal. Second position is in a situation, so you're not like worried about what somebody thinks of you. Does everybody feel the difference? It does not. That's self-consciousness. We're developing a power. Now, self-consciousness is this is the same amount of energy used in a neurotic way. Now, if you took that energy, instead of caring about what somebody thinks about you, they don't like you. It's done. Okay, so then, just assume that. Then your life is you'll be fine. And then, so you take the same amount of energy and you put it towards, instead of caring like, oh, what are they thinking about me? I think they like me, or they don't like me. That energy goes to putting yourself in the perceptive lens of the second position. How are they, like, really with innocence watching yourself from their position? You will become a much more charismatic, much more magnetic, much more self-aware, much more interesting human. And I want you to develop this second position, but the only way that you can develop it in Hadi Jivan's hardcore with us right now on this, because it really will change you in such a deep way. The only way you can develop it is through the sensory development, because you need to have a kind of translucence to be able to toggle between different perceptive realities. And part of what happens on all of the sides of the poles when we're dealing with different kind of corporations that basically everyone, what is the commodity of this age right now? It's not yet Bitcoin, but good answer. It's going to take a couple years. What? That's a good then. That's good. Everybody's getting some good answers. This is what people are making money off of. Your attention. Everybody in this, then look at what's happening. Everybody is looking for your attention, and I mean desperately. Now, if you become so attentive that you're paying attention to where you're putting your attention, what direction and what the usage is of your attention because of your attentiveness, then all of a sudden you're able to have enough energy to see things from multiple perspectives. So when you're dealing with like a corporation like the news media is making a huge amount of money on your attention and directing your attention to the places that for whatever agenda they want your attention to be on. Have you ever played distraction pool? No? You guys didn't play like teen makeout games? These people don't watch TV. I'm talking to you guys out there because I know you're normal people. They don't watch TV. They never played like teenage distraction makeout games. Okay, fine, all right. What else? I guess there was other versions of this, but like you're at a pool table and then you're distracting the person who's trying to hit the ball. It's like a whole thing. No? Okay, so it's a teenage kind of, drinking makeout game. I'll explain it to you later, I guess. Basically, that's what's happening in every aspect of this technological age, from the media to the social media to every aspect. Like I was reading an article this morning about, several people who have left their children in their cars when the children have died over the past week. Not just one, several people. And in the article, it gives you this was the strangest thing I've ever read. It was like, make sure you put one shoe beside your baby in the back seat so you don't forget the baby. And then it gave some other tips, hot tips, how not to forget your baby in the back seat. It was like, put your purse back there, put your, what else? I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't believe this. But it was hot tips on how not to forget your children in the car. On a serious news media outlet, quote unquote. All right? Our attention, we are so, Yogi Bhajan was talking about, he uses a lot of different words for it, but one of the words he was using during this White Tantric we just did is computeritis. The attention is so, we're so split and fragmented and pressurized that something on a real, quote-unquote, news media outlet has to give you 5 hot tips on how to not leave your kid in the back of a hot car. That's some weird stuff. We're just leaving it. We're living in a very strange time, okay? So if you're attentive enough to know where you want to put your attention, then you're going to have enough command of your sensory system to pay attention to what different perceptive realities look like. And it's going to make you very, very charismatic and very wide and very intelligent. These things, these kind of IQ tests, that has nothing to do with your intelligence. Your intelligence is a operating speed of your neuron velocity. And so, I don't care what you got on your SATs or what your IQ is or then none of that matters, especially in this age. If you have a command of your own attention and then you can place it in the places that are going to be significant for you to have more self-awareness, you're going to have a real kind of interesting experience, and your relationships are going to get better, and your ability to kind of take personal responsibility is going to become something that's much more just a part of right action. See, when we don't take personal responsibility, we don't feel good about ourselves. So it causes a deep rupture in our own self-dignity. We feel good about ourselves when we take personal responsibility. We just feel good because we're creating our own reality. So whatever's happening in that little horror show, but then again, we're not in a blame game. We're just paying attention so that we can maybe shift some gears and create a little bit more attentiveness and that kind of thing. Do we get the game? All right. So I'd like us to really work on meticulousness. Because the meticulousness of your attentiveness is going to give you a lot of this kind of ability to see things in a more clear and responsible way, response-able way. Okay, and the world needs people who aren't just like, oh, God, treat that. You know, I mean, it's like, I mean, it's just like, it's crazy. I did this thing, which I'm going to do. I'm going to do more of these, all of these meditations Yogi Bhajan gave for this time. He called the gray period on the planet. And they're kind of funny meditations, but they're all, you know, they're these meditations. They're called things like meditation for insanity, and meditation for sharp-wittedness, and meditation for when you don't know what else to do, and meditation, you know, because people are really, you know, we're having a hard time. Okay, so we're going to work on this.